Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Switchaboo podcast. My name is Alex Harding, I'll be your host. I'm joined here by James Troughton.
Hello, Troughton.
Yeah, I got it right this time. And Nathan Rudge.
Hello.
We've got a massive episode for you this episode, so there's a ton of news to share, so we'll go through it quite quickly. We have a few games to talk about that we've been playing, and we got an exciting Name That Game episode coming up. So, first off, what have we been playing? James, what have you been playing?
I beat Mario Galaxy, god-awful Switch port, and I'm playing some Breath of the Wild.
Nice. Finally catching up on everything.
Yeah, I'm taking my time, but I want to play them all before 3D World comes out, and it's about time I play some Zelda.
Probably a good idea.
That is very true. How about you, Nathan?
Again, Persona 5 Strikers. Again, Yakuza 7, because I got really into the story and I just went like, what was it, 9 chapters in a weekend.
Dang.
And just my casual phone game of Hearthstone. That's my everyday, just play that. Because I like card games.
Yeah, they're easy to digest, especially on mobile.
Mine was Elder Scrolls Legends, but that got discontinued.
I didn't like it.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I played Hearthstone first. I couldn't get into it, and then I played Legends and I was hooked.
Rune Terror's not bad.
Gwent's decent.
Yeah, I tried to get into Gwent.
It's not as good as the Witcher 3 one, but is what it is.
Didn't they make Thronebreaker?
Yeah, Thronebreaker. I bought that. I still need to play it.
Because that's on Switch. I'll get that eventually. I feel like I need to play the Witcher games first before I get into something like that.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Like, just to understand the context of everything.
But you'll also be losing a lot of time of your life playing the game.
Well, I'm reading the books first. So I'm up to the second one, which is still his collection of short stories. And then I'll go on to the actual, the actual books.
Yeah.
The meat. Yeah, exactly. The meat of The Witcher.
I'm trailing behind because that new Star Wars book came out, but I'm trying to read Witcher.
I've been playing a couple of... I've actually been playing quite a few indie games, but I did finally finish, not Switch related, but I did finally finish Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
I've been working forever on that one. But that was really good. Had a bit of a sad ending.
Oh, I have not beaten it yet. I have 300 hours in it.
I mean, Jesus. It's not as sad as I thought it was. Like, it could have been a lot sadder, But for the most part, like, I don't know. Kind of a bitter taste.
Games of that, I get sucked into the side content and then it's nighttime.
Yeah, see, that was me with Ghost of Tsushima.
Ah, yeah.
I need to play that.
Try that. I have someone I work with called it the best average game ever made. And I think that sums up what it looks like to me, but I'll still give it a try.
That sums up a lot of games, honestly.
Yeah. Those open world collectible hunts.
Yeah. So let's move on to the news. As we said, we have a lot of news topics, so we'll go through them one by one, but we'll try not to spend too much time on each individual one. So first off, like 2 hours before we started recording, Nintendo just released their financial results, which is actually very good timing and very considerate of them.
Yes. Instead of, in the middle of recording.
Yeah, well, exactly. We had to quickly check Google whilst we're recording. The main bit of news was that the Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the 3DS.
Which is actually quite impressive.
Yeah, which is nuts. I mean, 3DS released, I think it was 2011?
Yes.
I want to say?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was discontinued, officially last year or something?
Yes.
Wasn't it this year? Oh.
Well, 2020.
Oh,
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm still living in 2020. No, I remember getting the 3DS because I'd had a Lite and I wanted to play all the new 3DS games that had come out, some of the remasters.
Yeah, see, I bought it day one.
Oh, did you? Yeah, no, I got it way into its lifespan, and I regretted it. I thought the 3D was just a huge gimmick. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't touch the 3D.
Yeah.
I didn't touch the 3D, but it had good games on it.
Oh, it had good games, but I don't know why they went with the 3D gimmick. It felt like that era of Nintendo was a bit weird.
To be fair, 3D was huge at the time. Like, there was 3D TVs, 3D movies, because there was an Avatar, had just came out or something around that time.
It's that old.
Yeah. Nintendo had been experimenting with 3D a lot, especially with if you've heard the story of Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, they designed like a little screen that attached to it, and you could play Luigi's Mansion in 3D, but it never actually materialized into anything.
Also, Virtual Boy.
Weird.
And Virtual Boy as well, yeah. So then they've got experience with 3D, and they did that a lot. Anyways, though, so yes, 79.87, I think it was, million units. Let me just double check that number.
Comparison: Virtual Boy sold 770,000.
So it's doing better than that, that's for sure. Yeah, 79.89 million units. Not only that, the Nintendo Switch Lite itself has nearly outsold the Wii U by, like, it's 13.53 million, and the Wii U sold 13.56 million. And that's so upsetting for someone who owned a Wii U.
I know. Who played it, like, all the time.
I just feel bad for Nintendo Land, because that's never going to get ported to the Switch because of how it functions.
Yeah,
that was a good game.
It was a fantastic game. I always played it when like friends came over, especially Mario Chase. That was my favorite.
And like even just like the whole off TV mode thing, like having a console basically in your hand, it was like the predecessor to the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
I think the Switch took the Wii U and the DS and put them together.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. But living through the Wii U in that era was a bit stagnant for Nintendo, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Reggie did say that they needed the Switch to be a success. Otherwise, they didn't know where Nintendo was going to go with that.
And surprisingly, he doesn't want the Wii U to be his legacy. I was shocked by that.
His legacy is his body is ready.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't escape that. That is his legacy.
He is just a meme. I love it.
That and the whole Smash Bros video that him and
Bill Trinan?
No, the name is escaping me. The former CEO.
Satoru Iwata?
Yeah, Iwata. Like when they did that whole fighting thing.
That was weird. I remember watching that. I'm like, what is happening? I'm just like, just get to the game. I don't care.
It's like, it is the game.
Oh, Nintendo can be fun sometimes.
They can. They also announced the top 20 best-selling Nintendo Switch games published by Nintendo. And some of them are quite surprising that are in there. Like Mario Kart Live Home Circuit sold over 1 million since it launched in October, I think it was.
Which surprises me completely. I didn't think it would sell that much.
Exactly, because it's like a physical thing. It's a game, but it's not so much of a game. Like
it
in a way.
also requires was $150 Australian investment.
Oh yeah, and that was just for one cart.
Yeah,
like if you want to get a second cart, play with someone else, that's another 150 right there.
Yeah, and you'd need a second Switch.
Yeah,
that's pricey.
It's well pricey. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, so that sold 1.94 million. That's now the best-selling Pikmin game in history.
Boo.
Which is a really good franchise.
I've never played.
Did you just boo, James?
Pikmin is so peaceful and fun.
You've got to have something controversial in there.
That is true.
Fair.
I could actually never really get into Pikmin. I really tried with Pikmin. I couldn't do it.
Pikmin 2, I played so much on the GameCube.
Yeah.
GameCube is those... my jam.
Yeah, I respect those who do like it, and I don't know, just didn't gel with me. I think it's one of those games to see the hit or miss.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, 2.84 million.
Considering how long it's been out, that's impressive.
Yeah, and the best-selling Warriors game in the series history. Considering that's like a 20-year-old franchise.
Oh, right. I thought you meant between that and Breath of the Wild.
Oh, no. No.
I'm wondering how Persona 5 Strikers will go.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that's being a multi-platform, but hopefully if it does sell well on Switch, Persona 5 Strikers, they might then consider finally bringing the Persona 5 over. Yeah.
Hopefully it'd be the Royal Edition, because that's like the complete edition of the game.
I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Like, they tend to do that.
Like Witcher 3.
Yeah. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, 8.32 million in 3-4 months?
What a disappointment. Sorry.
Yeah, it leaves a bitter aftertaste in my mouth because that number's likely inflated due to like limited release of that.
Yeah,
collection.
that's such a weird choice to make.
It's also nostalgia. Like people
100%,
want
yeah.
that completely because of nostalgia. Just same reason. Was it Crash 4 did not sell very well compared to the Insanity.
Yeah, and then you've also got 3.5, whatever it's called. That's going off as well, March 31st.
Oh yeah, the Mario 35.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and that's the confusing part. Like, that does not need to be taken down. Surely that
No.
doesn't take that much in terms of servers.
Well, it was made for the anniversary, same as 3D All Stars. So like that, they're taking it off.
Yeah. Well, not only that then, but they're doing the Fire Emblem NES game as well.
Yeah, and
Yes.
my hope though is that if they take that off, they should do another one where it's Mario Bros. 2, and then another one where it's 3, and then another where it's World. Just go
You
through
reckon
all the
they'll
2D ones.
You reckon they'll still do that though? Because like Zelda's 35th anniversary.
Oh no, they
Yeah,
won't. But it
that's-
would be cool if they did.
Ring Fit Adventure 8.68 million. That's very impressive.
Yeah,
Especially as it keeps running out of stock.
Yeah, exactly. But considering everyone's been home,
Yeah.
and it's a great way to exercise, I guess it's
It
like
makes
Animal
sense.
Crossing.
It's just
It released at a good time, a very convenient time.
more profiteering Nintendo.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of
someone's
Animal
gotta do
Crossing,
Yeah, well, yeah, Animal Crossing, number 2. So it's only just about 2.3-ish million off of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And considering Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that's also the bundle editions. They count the bundle sales.
You know what they've said about Mario Kart?
Sorry?
What they've said about Mario Kart is they consider the phone game to be a main entry.
Really?
Yeah, which has made a few people a bit worried about Mario Kart 9. Because if they consider that a main entry, will they do 9 anytime soon?
I don't think they would.
No.
We're having this conversation, Nathan and I, earlier. I don't think they will do Mario Kart 9 on Switch.
No, I don't think so. Maybe if a Pro releases, but I can't see it in this Switch.
Nah.
Which is
It's
unfortunate.
selling too well.
Yeah. Even though it's just the Wii U game.
Yeah.
the fact that they count the mobile game as the mainline game, just that hurts me.
It
That
hurts.
does hurt. Considering it's like a gacha style,
Yeah.
that's very upsetting.
Also, like when it first came out, it controlled bad.
Oh, I still can't get into it.
Like, it was not fun to control.
If it let me plug a controller in, maybe, but wait, is no.
Luigi's Mansion 3, that was very successful, 9.13 million.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like Luigi's Mansion games, they sell okay, but they don't sell 9 million.
Yeah, that's big.
So that's a huge, and that's good signs because obviously, about a month ago, Nintendo acquired Next Level Games, the developer.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So
they
that's-
did. Yeah.
So that's very big news. We've also got, there you go, James, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu
Yes.
and Eevee, 13 million.
So more than Sword and Shield?
No,
Oh.
definitely
Where's
not.
the
Sword
drop?
and Shield's 20.35.
Oh,
million.
god damn it. It's not as
Yeah.
good.
Super Mario Party, 13.82 million, which
I bought that last week.
That one did surprise me. That it was still so high.
After the Wii U version of the game, I was really hesitant to get this one, so I only got it recently, and it is leagues above.
oh, absolutely. It kind of goes back to the original, but again, it's still quite lackluster in certain ways. There's only like 4 or 5 or something like that
Yeah.
courses, and that's very upsetting.
Yeah. But like the heyday of Mario Party was 1 till I think it was 6 or 7. Like just
Well,
those
7
ones.
7's when they introduced the microphone.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but it wasn't a necessity.
True. I never really played 4, 5, and 6. I've played 1 to 3 for the most part.
5 was my favorite.
I never played 5. I own
Because
it.
that's where they introduced the decathlon thing.
Ah.
And like it was a points based off how you went in the actual mini game, and you got you got X amount of points for getting this close to stopping the chain jump from hitting you, kind of thing. So the closer it was, the more points you got.
Yeah. I need to go back and play all those Mario Parties. I bought them all, but I think I got kind of bored. Like, well, not bored, but like, you know, when you play a certain game, play all of them, you just get kind of burnt out after the third one.
I didn't also, you need multiple people to play it.
Well, that's right. No one want to play with me. So I was like,
also,
okay.
COVID now.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Moving on to other news. I'm not sure if you guys have played this. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning is coming on to Switch on March 16th.
I have not played that.
I haven't played it. That's why we need someone else on here, right?
Well, Rochelle was supposed to be on this episode, but she couldn't make it. But Rochelle's a massive fan.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, right? And I've watched her play it, and it does look really good. It looks it's no Skyrim. It's definitely no Skyrim. It's no Witcher. It's like some of its gameplay mechanics is a bit dated, and there's a lot of dialogue.
I mean, I saw the trailer. I'm like, that looks really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you get past that, and it is a really good game, and it really hammers home like the more fairy tale fantasy.
Yeah,
in a way, which is really good for some people. It's very colorful. It's surprisingly colorful.
We'll have some colorful games.
Yeah. So March 16th, that's not that far away. Considering that's after Bravely Default 2, before Monster Hunter Rise.
It's at a good point.
Sorry?
It's at a good point.
Well, yeah, it's yeah, well, it kind of just fills that gap in between.
Yeah,
I guess. So good on it. Takaya, I'm gonna butcher this. Takaya Imamura, I got it. Retires from Nintendo after 32 years.
Yeah, that's.
So, I was gonna say, aren't you the person who took a Japanese degree?
2.5 years, yes.
Oh, nice one.
Well, that's why I eventually nailed it.
Oh, I would have been stuck.
But if you don't know who Takaya Imamura is, he is the creator of Tingle, so he's a legendary man. He did the art for Star Fox, and his first game we worked on was F-Zero.
F-Zero.
Do you reckon it's just retiring, or is it like moving on to something else?
He's retiring.
Did they say that? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so 32 years of the company, but yeah, he's retiring. He's done his bit.
He's done his business.
His due diligence.
That's it. Next bit of news: Sakura of Rice and Ruin sells over 850k units worldwide.
That's a good game.
It is a very good game. And have you heard of that one, James?
I have not.
No, that's fair. It wasn't like a wide release or anything like that. It wasn't like a very popular one. But
isn't it an indie title?
It's published by Marvelous.
Drawing a blank there.
Marvelous, they do the Story of Seasons games. They publish No More Heroes.
Right.
They publish those games as well.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, so I played and I reviewed Sakura of Rice and Ruin, and it was very good. I think I gave it like 80 or like high 70s or something like that.
Yeah, you gave it something higher.
Yeah, it's a very competent game. It's a very good game, and the farming mechanics I really liked. I reckon that's the main draw of that game. I reckon because if you're unaware, James, but like you're on a mountain and you farm rice because it's like a very rural Japanese, and you go through every step. So you fertilize the soil, and then you and by doing that you have. Sorry.
You go through every step of making rice.
Yes. So, like, step by step. So, you have to get the fertilizer from the bucket. You get the bucket, you pick up the fertilizer, you put it in the dispenser, then you lay down then you tow the field, like tow the soil, and then you plant each individual seed. And it got monotonous, but, like, you do upgrade those abilities, so you can put more seeds down, and watering was like you lifted up a certain like a hatch and it comes out, and then you can like adjust the water levels. That has to be just right, and the weather has to be just right. So it goes into like full detail. It's like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, but like times 100 when it comes to farming.
And hyper focused on just rice.
Yeah, it's just rice.
But does it grow in real time?
No.
It does not. That would be very boring.
I say I like the Breath
You
of
can
the
play that
Wild
game.
approach.
I'm not playing that game.
I like the Breath of the Wild approach where you just grab everything and throw it in a pot and it magically turns into something.
But the other part of the game, though, is it's a beat 'em up side scroller.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the second part. So 2D
That's
side
the
scroller beat
ruin
'em up.
part.
What are you describing to me?
The
Yeah,
game
it's
of your
a
dreams.
Exactly.
So
It's a combination of both. So yeah, you go through these levels, kind of Metroidvania-ish, kind of, and you go through and you collect materials on the way as well, and that can make other things. It gets quite complex and quite in depth. I just had some of the problems with the combat. I didn't think it was very smooth, and some of the controls and the level design was a bit off. It didn't kind of sit well, but other than that, it was a very good game.
So they nailed the rice, but they faulted at the beat 'em up.
They did.
Oh, beat 'em up's still pretty fun though.
It is. I don't want to be too negative about it.
Like it does
and yeah.
flow pretty well.
Yeah. And yeah, 850,000 is nothing to scoff at for a game like that.
That's
Like it's not a Nintendo
That's big.
release or anything like that.
Wonder if it'll cross 1 million then.
I reckon eventually. Surely.
Yeah.
Next bit of news, Monster Hunter Rise Nintendo Switch Special
And
Edition
Pro
got
controller.
announced. And a Pro Controller, yes.
It looks so good.
It's real pretty.
I really want that Pro controller.
I do prefer the Mario
At
one,
least.
not gonna lie. But it gives me hope for a Zelda one, because it looks very Zelda-y if they did a Breath of the Wild themed one.
I reckon it would happen. It's when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Or
Yeah, I
for
can
the
see it.
35th anniversary.
I saw some people like, or just spend $5 and buy a sticker. It's like, it's not a sticker.
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
the same.
Like, and it's not like it's not even just it's not the same. It's not a sticker. It's like I'm pretty sure it'd be like actual like on the Switch itself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the design of it.
Yeah,
Well, the Mario one changes the tablet itself. It's red, not
I
black.
saw that.
I think that's
That
the
I
first
have
time
to say
Nintendo's
is-
done that.
Is neat.
Yeah, they've only ever done that with the Switch Lite, so it's a big step.
Yeah,
I don't know about the
All
Monster
I wish
Hunter
with
one.
the Mario Switch though is that the joysticks were yellow or gold,
Yeah,
like coins.
so you had the overalls.
yeah, that would be cool.
that as well.
I was hoping the case would
Yeah.
be a giant mystery box thing. The question mark squares.
So missed opportunity.
I know. The Switch itself is top tier. Monster Hunter World 1 too.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm not even a Monster Hunter fan
No, me neither.
personally, but I could buy that Switch.
Oh, 100%.
won't,
If I
but I
didn't
could.
have one. If I didn't have one, that would sell me.
Although you'd probably get the Mario one, wouldn't you?
I would get the Mario one. I like red and blue, so easy.
Or you could just get both of them.
But,
There you go.
lose all my money.
Yeah. Just do
Who
more
needs to pay
writing.
rent?
That's a lot of writing.
That's pressure on me as well. We don't pay that much. So moving on. There was a recent handbook, 2007 Nintendo Handbook, like an employee handbook that went out, and it shows off old Wii logos that could have been used. Have you guys had a look through this?
I have.
Some of
They
them
are
are
something.
unique, is all I'll say.
Yeah.
Does it explain
Especially
where the
the-
name comes from, though? Because I still don't understand. Like, the DS has a naming reason, the Switch has one, the GameCube, all of them have reasons for what they're called, but the Wii?
We would like to play.
That's... They thought of that after, 100%.
I always thought that the two eyes were two remotes.
But then what about the Wii U?
That was just trying to capitalize on the name of the Wii, which is
Exactly.
where they
Yeah.
failed
That's
miserably.
And the U was supposed to be a more focus on single player content.
Yes.
Alright.
So Wii, but for you, and like it was for the the more hardcore gamers because they were trying to win back that audience a little bit. Then they just lost their entire audience
That is, yeah.
in the process.
It-
And then they just ditched that all together and went for the Switch, and that was perfect.
Oh, 100%. No, the Wii logos were interesting, though. There was some that you couldn't tell what it was actually saying. You can tell why they didn't go for it.
Yeah, some of them were quite interesting. Like especially that there's one of them that has like the two eyes, and they're kind of like it makes like a smiley face almost.
Yeah.
Like where they're connected.
Then there was the one where the eyes are people.
Yeah. Some of them straight up look like W's though, which threw me
Yeah,
off.
no.
I wonder who got paid to do all of this work though.
A graphic designer.
Yeah. It was
Do you
just like one guy sitting in a room.
No, I reckon
It's
they
like,
had a
we
few.
go for it.
What
How
do you-
about it? Just have fun with it.
What do you do when you're given a name like Wii though to make a logo? I mean, that sounds tough.
That is true. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's not many unique ones out there.
Like the Switch, they had something to play with, but the Wii, not really.
They really went with that click sound.
Yeah. The Switch's logo,
Yeah, I love that.
like with the two Joy-Cons, is really good.
Yeah.
That's so much more to play with there, whereas with the Wii, it was like, oh, it's a small box with 2 TV remotes. You have fun.
Do you remember the very first trailer that launched when it showed off the Nintendo Switch? And they had that little soundbite where they were saying
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch when they did the click. And it was
I
like,
remember this.
yeah, like they actually read out Nintendo Switch, and then they never used that soundbite again.
Yeah. I guess the click just sells it more. Nice and
It
snappy.
does. Like, I love it at the Game Awards, and then you're like, it's a Switch trailer straight away. Click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we don't have to wait as long to see all the logo designs for the Switch, though, because I bet they're interesting.
They would be.
Yeah.
And then we see our logo on there.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That. Oh no.
Moving on from that one, we have... So this one was really interesting. I wanted to have a bit of a discussion about this one. This is in regards to whether there's going to be a potential Switch Pro, but NVidia did a little... so they've released, or they revealed DLSS 2.0. Now, I'm not a hardware guru by any means. I got someone else to build my PC for me because I had no idea what I was doing.
Same.
Yeah, it stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling. So what it is, because the Nintendo Switch uses an NVIDIA graphics card. Basically, they use the Tegra card, which is quite old. It's even when the Switch launched, it was quite outdated. So the DLSS, it's kind. Again, I'm not a tech guru, but it's kind of like it's part of the new chip where it's it upscales based on AI technology. So it kind of it almost guesses, or not guesses. It's gonna be a bit more complicated than that. But it like it sees an image at a low resolution and then it fills in the gaps basically.
Yeah.
And makes that 4K, and then because that doesn't really use much power, doesn't use much battery power, so we could work in something like a Switch Pro
what the
model.
PS4 Pro did.
Yeah, very very similar to something like that, and that could work for a Switch Pro. It'll work perfectly.
Yeah, because the PS4 didn't have the performance capability to run in 4K. So they had to use AI upscaling as opposed to the Xbox Series, whatever. Xbox One S and X, not Series.
One X.
Yeah. So they were like native 4K, but the PlayStation wasn't. Switch will probably be in that ballpark if they use this.
Yeah, and I think that works just fine,
Yeah.
especially for a handheld as well.
Oh, it's
Exactly.
huge for a handheld. The question is, though, because I remember reading it talks about ray tracing being something they can use with that. So it could,
Which would be incredible.
it would compete with current gen. Well, I guess next gen. I don't know what to call it at this point. It would compete with next gen tech, which is huge for the Switch. And even though Nintendo keeps saying we don't want to compete with other people, I think that it would be worth trying to step up to that playing field a little bit.
They would also, they say they don't want to, but they kind of have to as well. Like,
Yeah.
like they do have a slightly different market. They also have the same market for a lot of the people. And a lot of people don't have disposable income because they just spent a lot of it on a PlayStation or an Xbox or both.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people who say play PlayStation or Xbox but want to take that where, on the go with them. But then when you
Yes.
get the Switch ports of the games that they want the Switch for to play on the go, because not a lot of people go there for obviously the Switch exclusives, but a lot of people also go there to play stuff on the go. But right now, a lot of the ports aren't great.
And even if they are like equivalent, like in the way they play, it's also there's slower load times
Yeah,
Yeah.
massively.
by a lot.
So
And we're noticing less third-party games come to Switch as well.
A lot of people have been
Yes.
saying, I read one developer straight up said it's not worth our time.
Yeah, exactly. Which is surprising considering the install base of the Switch.
Yeah, it's just the amount of effort you'd have to put into porting a game.
Yeah, because it's completely different engine, isn't it? Like the
so.
build engine, the way they do it
Yeah.
is different.
And then you've also got to factor in you're downgrading below lower settings on PC for a lot of these games.
Yeah.
So it's a
like
completely new
even
thing.
old games like the Bioshock collection, they can't run at 60 FPS.
No.
And considering how old those games are.
Yeah, I'm surprised they got Dark Souls on there.
Yeah, I mean that runs at 30 FPS on Switch.
Yeah.
And 60 everywhere else. Same with Doom and Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I'm shocked they got Doom Eternal on there. But
Yeah,
there's a lot of games that I play I'd love to see, like Call of Duty making an appearance on just for zombies on the Switch, because having that on the go would be incredible. Because the last time zombies was on the go was the DS, and it was a completely different game.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh god, I forgot that they had COD
Yeah.
on DS.
Different maps, different everything. It was horrible.
I mean, very impressive that they can do it, but yeah, it was one of those things where it was only there because of the install base.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on a little bit. Oh, before I do actually moving on there, if you want to learn more about the DLSS, because like I said, not a tech guru, but Digital Foundry actually have a really good video on that on YouTube. Definitely worth checking out. And if you want to have a look at how that can benefit Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Life actually have a very good discussion on that as well. So I definitely recommend checking them those two out for a little bit more on that. Moving on though, so Bowser's Fury, we're getting more and more information about that because that launch is coming up pretty soon at February 12th. Bowser's Fury though is looking at, so the game looks to, well, that little side piece looks to run for about 3 hours in total. But if you want to collect all the 100 cat sprites that are in there, it's about another 3 hours. So about 4 or 5 hours for an average run through.
Nice little bonus.
Yeah, exactly. For anyone who didn't play 3D World, I mean, which is what?
Most people.
65 million Switch owners.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, exactly. So they can have a go at Super Mario 3D World, and then they get Bowser's Fury on top of it, which is perfect.
Yeah.
But you can pick and choose which one you play first, which is nice. You don't have to beat Super Mario 3D World, they revealed.
Yeah, which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to put that behind that, especially for people who have played 3D World like myself and likely
All
Nathan
2
as well.
million of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I played a fair bit of it.
And they've touched up 3D World quite a lot as well. So you can climb higher, apparently. It's a lot quicker, a lot snappier, and the camera's a bit more dynamic as well. So that's really good.
They still make Rosalina so hard to get.
Yeah. It's Rosalina. I get it.
So why have they done that, but they didn't with Galaxy? Nintendo. Got some.
Because, the way to get Rosalina is you have to get the top of the flag with every character.
Oh.
On every level.
I'm not doing that.
And that's how you unlock her as a character.
Yeah, I might try for that. Oh, it's Rosalina, though.
Yeah,
we'll see when it comes out.
what was I going to say as well? 3D World. Yeah, like it runs a lot smoother. It's a lot snappier this time around, and there's online multiplayer now, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I just think that's a great addition.
I like that they're doing that more. I think more Switch games in future need to go for that as well as local. Like, it's weird to me you can't play Super Mario Party online.
Well, apart from that, was it that Mario Marathon or whatever thing it was they do?
Yeah, not the actual game, but all the other side stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nintendo, like what with COVID and the pandemic and everything like that, I think their hand's going to get forced to do more online.
Yeah, which is weirdly a good thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it brings more to the Switch Online experience.
Yeah, because it's weird having that, but not emphasizing Switch Online.
Yeah.
That's Nintendo.
Yeah, you can sum up a lot of it with that.
Yeah. They also revealed that, 3D World runs in 1080p 60 frames per second, 720p handheld, and in 30 frames per second, so that's about right for that. Although, weirdly enough, the docked mode for Bowser's Fury is only in 720p. 60 frames per second still, but bit of a downgrade in resolution there, which is a bit strange.
The docked 3D world's still meant to play at 60. Weirdly. It just seems like Bowser's Fury's been... I think it might be because I've heard a lot of people saying it's closer to Odyssey than 3D World, so it might be because of that.
I think also 3D World was 1080p on the Wii U, wasn't it?
Was
I
it?
think so. Actually, no, I think it was 720.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think
probably
probably. What I've read is that it feels like an Odyssey DLC, but it has that theme that fits in more with 3D World.
Yeah, it looks like that. Ironically, though, I did hear that I don't have a source for this, but that they used the 3D World engine still for Bowser's Fury, and they didn't use the Odyssey engine.
I'd assume you would.
I think it's more that it's being made today, so naturally it feels closer to what's coming out today, as opposed to 3D World.
Yeah, I mean, I like 3D World for what it did. 3D Mario co-op is quite a unique experience. It's a frustrating experience when you get to play it, because everyone always jumps everywhere at once, and then people land on each other and bounce off each other. Ugh, so annoying.
You can throw each other off the cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that in Sackboy all the time. But no, Galaxy had co-op in a horrible sense.
Yeah, you control the pointer.
Yeah, which is weird, but
The quote-unquote little brother co-op.
Why is it that Galaxy and Odyssey had the worst co-op in any game?
It's baby mode.
Baby mode? What's that?
Where,
You give it to your little kid, or...
Oh, I see.
Exactly. Or
it makes them feel like they're playing the game.
Exactly. So you have, you're playing a single-player game, but you hand one controller off to your younger sibling or something, so they feel like they're playing it.
Oh, yeah, people have done that to me before. Recently.
Because you're the baby of the group.
Moving on to the next one. So, funnily enough, Nintendo actually fully owns the IP for Astral Chain.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this actually got announced, it was only a few days ago they talked about this, but there was something or other where they had a bit on the website, and it just says copyright of Nintendo. And then in an interview, what was it? Platinum Games boss Atsushi Inaba. So he, in an interview, so this is a quote actually, I've got it here. So the question was, what is Astral Chain? Who owns Astral Chain? And Inaba responded, it's as it's written on the website. Astral Chain is their IP, as in Nintendo's, and as such, there are limitations on how much we feel we should talk about.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So it's quite surprising. So that's never going to be on any other console.
Yeah, that's strange.
Because Nintendo are Nintendo.
Well, I guess with their flagships, it makes sense, but something like Astral, they should definitely think about it.
I wonder what that means for Bayonetta. That's still platinum, isn't it?
That is, but I know Nintendo have a stake in that.
Yeah, their investment made Bayonetta 2 happen.
Exactly. So I think that will remain Nintendo, Nintendo exclusive moving forward, which is funny because I guess all the other consoles have your Devil May Cry's and all that kind of stuff, whereas Nintendo just has Bayonetta. It's just a really random one to have. It's
also completely against the image of kid friendly.
Yeah.
And this was during the Wii U phase when they were trying to be like, oh look, get the hardcore gamers in.
Yeah, Bayonetta was a weird choice for that.
It makes sense.
You still haven't played Bayonetta, haven't you, James?
No, but I have. I've seen it. I wrote a piece on it a while back. I did read that it was essentially Devil May Cry for a different platform, though. So I'd probably enjoy it.
In a nutshell, yeah.
I swear the DMC collection is on Switch, though, isn't it?
I think there's a couple of DMC games on there.
Because there's the trilogy you can buy everywhere else. I'm not sure if that's on Switch, but it'd be nice to have all of those hack and slashes in one place.
Yeah. I know some of them are. I definitely know some of them are. 5's definitely not on there.
Oh, no. Not the new one.
No. And the last bit of news was there's a couple of demos that came out, so you should definitely try out. Immortals Phoenix Rising got a demo, and Balan Wonderworld. Have you played either of these ones?
I own Immortals Phoenix Rising, but I haven't played it.
What do you own it on?
Switch.
Switch. Yeah, right. I didn't expect you to get that for Switch.
Well, I heard it was like Breath of the Wild, and my dad gets Ubisoft games a bit cheaper, so he was like, "Do you want me to pick it up for you?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll probably play it." I looked at the box art, and then I went, "No, I should probably finish Breath of the Wild."
Yes, I definitely agree with that. But I did try. So I tried the demo for Immortals Phoenix Rising on Switch and PC to compare them. It still runs quite well on Switch, but it is a considerable difference.
Oh, is it? That's a shame.
Yeah. It still runs quite well, don't get me wrong. It's very, very impressive to run on Switch the way it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, my average-ish, high to average PC ran at like 4K 60 FPS.
So I guess it's a bit like Breath of the Wild for people without a Switch.
Yeah.
Or a Wii U.
Oh yeah, because it came out on the Wii U, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Has anyone played the demo for Balan Wonderworld?
I
Have not.
No. Are you guys familiar with this game?
Nope.
The name sounds familiar. I can't remember.
So it's developed and published by Square Enix, but the lead developer is Yuji Naka.
Oh yes, this was the thing that I remember them showing this off.
Again, Yuji Naka, if you're not familiar, is the creator of Sonic.
Oh yeah, that's right now.
Yeah, you can see that in the design.
Oh, 100%. But I played the demo. It is not good.
Oh no.
It is just not good. And I'm saying that for both the Switch version and the PC version. The PC version, it runs fine. And it looks good. Not amazing. It looks good. The cutscenes are gorgeous. The cutscenes are beautiful. Even on the Switch, it's really, really nice. The gameplay, though, is so slow. And for a 3D platformer developed by Yuji Naka, the irony behind that is...
The Sonic curse follows.
Yeah, it does. So it makes me wonder, Sonic's downfall, was that actually Sega's fault, or was that Yuji Naka?
I mean, by the sounds of things, it might have been more him.
I think it's probably a combination of both, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I mean, Sonic 06 was kind of forced out, and they had the team split into two to also do, was it 7 Rings on the Wii?
Oh, that's right. Oh, God.
Yes, that is a game on the Wii.
2 disasters in one.
Yep.
Yeah, but Balan Wonderworld, it felt real generic. Super generic. Very slow. When you were jumping on enemies, it didn't feel like you were... it didn't have that shadow underneath, or I didn't notice that shadow underneath, so it didn't feel like I was connecting when I landed on them. So that felt quite awkward. It also feels like you're constantly running on ice, in 3D platformers where you're running on ice.
Oh God.
It takes you a little bit to go. It doesn't do that. You go at a specific speed, but that speed feels like you're on ice.
Oh, that would put me off. The amount of on ice 3D platformer sections that have made me nearly break my controller.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this so many times, and I'll continue to mention it. My favorite game, of all time is Banjo-Kazooie, and it's one of those 3D platformers that they just got it right straight away from the get-go. And I've played 3D platformers to death, and going to Balan Wonderworld, as soon as 2 minutes into it, I can instantly feel that this is just not right.
It's something where if you mess up a 3D platformer's movement, nothing else matters.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't enjoy the story, you can't enjoy the world, because, it's just not fun to explore.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fun to move around or anything.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a downer. That's coming March 26th, so same day as Monster Rise, so you know what's going to win that round.
Especially after how well Monster Hunter World sold.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And the fact that there's a Monster Hunter movie.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Yeah, no, I don't want to watch that.
He's from where I live, by the way, the director. He's from Newcastle, right next door. Biggest disgrace of the city. And we have a lot of disgraces.
Because he was the director behind Resident Evil, wasn't he?
Yeah. And they gave him another franchise, because why not?
There was your first mistake.
Well, those made over 1 billion collectively, so it must be money.
Oh yeah, no, the Resident Evil movies make money,
Yeah.
but they're also very dangerous for the actors.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, you don't want to be associated with that.
Monster Hunter. We'll get a sequel after this one.
Great. I heard it ends on a cliffhanger apparently.
Oh, that's
Or like it ends where it leads into something else.
that is 100% his motif.
Yeah.
Great. Moving on from the news segment, we've got next up the Indie Roundup. So this is the segment of the podcast where we just go through and list a few indie games that have caught our eye, maybe ones that don't get the attention that we feel they deserve, or just ones that we have played and or even not have played and it just looks fantastic. So I'll mention the first one, Cyber Shadow. So this one, developed by Machine Head Games, but published by Yacht Club Games, who were the developers of the Shovel Knight series.
Oh, that's yeah.
So have you guys looked into this one?
I played
You
Shovel
played
Knight.
this, didn't you?
Yes, I reviewed it.
Yeah, I remember like you showing it off. Like, look, we get to ask questions about this.
That's right. And they
Yeah.
never got back to me.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What did you give it?
Well, moving on.
We'll call them out on here.
No, they were very, very nice. They were very, very nice, and they were super helpful. They probably got inundated with
Oh yeah.
With requests, especially from like bigger publications.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd go to them first.
Yeah.
But yes, I played through Cyber Shadow. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought, which is a bit of a downer. I still gave it 76, I think.
Wasn't it like super hard?
Yeah, it is super hard, and I don't really fault it for that because it's based off of the old, Ninja Gaiden NES games, so it's going for that audience for sure. It's a little, when a game's a little too faithful to an old era where like there are certain foibles where you should have evolved from that.
Oh, like Nexomon.
But they, yeah. Well, it's like my main gripe with this was some of the checkpoints were really close together, and yet other checkpoints were really far apart. Yeah, and within that there would be instant death pitfalls or spikes or something like 3/4 of the way through, and then you hit that, and then you're all the way back, and it was just so frustrating.
Or the last thing right before the checkpoint.
Yeah, and that happened a couple times as well. And then like I got past that bit, I was like, finally, and then okay, what's the next bit? Oh, there's a checkpoint. And yeah, it got. I don't know. It was difficult for the sake of being difficult. That being said, the world they set up is fantastic. The lore was really interesting. The graphics and sound effects were spot on. Like really harkens back to 8-bit, like NES era, but really touched up. Like Shovel Knight, it looks gorgeous. It just wasn't Shovel Knight.
I feel like
it wasn't anywhere near the quality.
That's the go-to for a lot of indies these days, it feels.
Yeah. You got to compare it to Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, all the Knights.
See, I think there's calling back to the NES era, but then there's so many that just I feel like they use it as a crutch more than anything.
Yeah,
oh for sure, definitely.
Like, Monster Sanctuary had that as well with the same kind of pixel art design, and it's like you see it so much it kind of like doesn't hold any point anymore.
No,
yeah,
it's not nostalgic anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like Chucklefish do pixel art really, really well.
Yeah.
So Chucklefish, if you're not aware, Wargroove, Inmost,
so good.
Yeah, like it's really crisp pixel art, and it just looks gorgeous. So Chucklefish, if you want some like retro games that are retro inspired games, I should say, that are really polished and
even
really
Ubisoft did really good with the Scott Pilgrim game, like the pixels and that. So good.
Yeah, so there's a way to do pixel art without being
retro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can modern it up a little bit. Aaliyah was the next one, so that was published by Devolver. That one I gave a 96. That one was fantastic.
I remember this.
The main reason why I gave it such a high score was the combat. So the main hook of the game is that you find this legendary harpoon, and you can throw it in any direction, like at an enemy or at an object, and then you can kind of dash towards it so that you can go there, and you can reach like hard to find spaces and whatnot, or you can call it back to you like a boomerang almost. But I just felt that in the combat, it felt like if I could think to do something, I could do it.
Oh,
and
I like that.
Yeah, it was almost Breath of the Wild like, almost, because like I could I could make it electric, like an electric spear or harpoon really, and like it falls in the water, and then there's like an electric shock, and it kills enemies and whatnot.
Oh, I like the little attention to detail in that kind of thing. It's the things that anyone could look over and you wouldn't notice.
Yeah,
exactly, and it just had that polish to it. I looked up reviews afterwards because that's just what I do. I just look up reviews once I've done my review just to see what everyone else thought once I can finally do that. And I actually reviewed it quite highly in comparison to others.
We do that a lot.
We're very generous.
I remember Skyrocket looking at the reviews after I gave that a 94 or something, and it was all 7s and 8s.
Unless you're looking at Poland Ball.
Poland Ball, oh, that's a mess. Sorry, Poland Ball.
Oh, yeah. That's an ongoing joke, that one. Yeah, I mean, we've definitely done negative reviews, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And there have been reviews where we've probably given a lower score. I think of Bug Fables. I think you gave that 80, and yet, like, that was people's games of the year. I've seen 10 out of 10s for it.
I did not get the hype. I really didn't.
Did you play Paper Mario?
I played the original Paper Mario.
Okay, so you still had that nostalgia bit.
Recently, or, like, back in the time?
I played it a few years ago. I would have been about 15 or 16.
So, see, a lot of it was the nostalgia.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that is also true. And you've grown up with it, and then you went to Thousand Year Door, and then like since Thousand Year Door, you haven't had that recreation of what the original was like. And then Bug Fables comes out. Yeah, it does skew your thought a little bit. So I actually reckon, because I played it a little bit without the nostalgia goggles, I reckon 80 was probably the right score for that game.
Yeah, I think coming at it from an outsider might have been the best thing for a game like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like it's very easy to get wrapped up in nostalgia with something like that.
Oh, yeah, no.
For sure. Colossus Down was a really interesting one as well that I found. Haven't played it, but I'm very familiar with Mango Protocol. So that developer, they did Agatha Knife, if you guys heard of that one.
Is that a play on Agatha Christie's murder mystery novels? Has to be.
No, but I can see some of the similarities. So Agatha Knife was a point-and-click adventure, and it's very, very much dark humor in a lot of ways. You play as like an 9-year-old girl who works at her mother's meat shop, like butcher.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves animals, but she also loves killing animals. But she doesn't like butchering them. But she doesn't like the way that they scream and the way that they get upset. So she starts her own religion, and it just gets messed up, and it's really funny. It's really interesting. But yeah, it's a little messed up as well. But Colossus Down, it's a beat 'em up, so it went in a completely different direction, with like mech suits and all this kind of stuff. So I love the Agatha Knife world, and there's, I think it was Mecha Nika as well. It was kind of like a side game for that point and click game. So he's created a world, Mango Protocol. So I'm curious to try Colossus Down for the world, but maybe not the gameplay.
That's fair.
So, and that's a bit of a down.
Interesting world.
Yeah, or definitely play Agatha Knife. Like, I 100% recommend that game.
Did you give it a score?
It's fantastic. I think I gave it like 75 or something. But I think I was looking at it from more of an objective standpoint, whereas because I love dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bread and butter. And that might not be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah, exactly. But I personally loved it. If I was looking at it subjectively, I'd give it a 90.
Damn.
I reckon. But I had to, kind of think of it both ways.
Yeah.
The last little bit James, I'm going to get you to talk about this one, actually.
Oh, here we go.
The Dead Cells, the Fatal Seed DLC.
I have not played it, but more Dead Cells is always welcome. I think it's the best roguelite since Binding of Isaac, which is getting a DLC in March.
Is it still getting DLC, Binding of Isaac?
This is like the first one in a long while, and the last one was controversial, and the new one is apparently like game-sized. But I reckon Dead Cells is in the sort of ballpark for me where Binding of Isaac was the perfect roguelite from a top-down perspective. I still think that, and I think Dead Cells is the best roguelite I've played where it's side-scroller. So any more content to add to the like random collection of items and builds you can make over the course of your run, yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, I need to play more of Dead Cells. I do have it, and I remember playing it when it originally came out, and I wasn't big on roguelites at the time. I think I was still kind of new to that genre. So being able to go back now, I reckon I'll really, really enjoy it. But it's on my list.
After playing Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hades kind of got me back into roguelites, and
I do think
I'm playing Rogue Legacy.
It's a tough genre to get into.
Yeah.
Because there's not really that incentive of anything to complete. I think Hades has it more so than the others, but there's more. It's more about just playing through it over and over and over again, rather than trying to complete a story or something, and which can be a bit.
I like the deck building roguelites.
Oh, I like Slay the Spire.
Yeah. Yeah. I could never get into those.
It's fun.
I feel like they're time sinks. They're huge time sinks. Those ones.
They are massive time sinks, but they're also like you can just pay it quickly while you're on like the go.
Yeah, I've been enjoying roguelites for that reason, I reckon, because I'm an adult and I'm busy. I don't get as much time to play video games as I would like. So I've been playing Rogue Legacy recently, which is like an old 2013 rogue, like 2D platformer roguelike. And yeah, and it is very quick. I can just go in and play for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then if I'm done with it,
isn't a sequel out now?
I think it's coming out, or it's like in early access or something.
Yeah, for me, it's something you can just stick on when you're watching a lecture or a TV show, something where you don't have to focus too much. There's no cutscenes or story really.
Yeah, and if you die, it's not too much of a consequence.
Exactly,
because you're gonna die anyways.
You just don't get your next upgrade.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So that was our Indie Roundup section. Moving on, we'll go to the Patreon question. Basically, for this segment, our $1 patrons submit a question for our podcast, and we answer them on the show. So this episode's question comes from Belinda Cubitt. She writes to us asking, "What Switch game are you most excited for this year?" I'll start with you, Nathan.
Well, so far this year, it's Persona 5 Strikers, which I'm playing already.
Mm-hmm.
Bravely Default 2, which is coming up, and Monster Hunter Rise.
Fair play.
Nice. And that's all in the first quarter.
Yes. Outside of that, there's not a lot I can really think of.
No, that is true. It's a bit... I think what with the pandemic and everything, people don't want to give solid release dates until they know.
I hope that just becomes a thing going forward anyway.
Like, while E3 is cancelled, they still always do the events around E3.
That's right. What were you saying, James, there, sorry?
Oh, no, I just hope that thing becomes a thing going forward post-COVID.
Yeah.
To avoid cyberpunks.
Yes. And your Final Fantasy 7s.
Yeah. Messes.
James, what are you looking forward to on Switch?
Mine comes out in less than 2 weeks. Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah.
There is
because you never played the Wii U version, so that's like a whole new Mario game to you.
It is. So there were 2 main 3D games I hadn't played yet: Sunshine, which Jesus, and 3D World, which is coming out. So Sunshine,
let's go back to that reaction for Sunshine.
I don't like it. I booted it up. The little thing on your back annoys the ever-living shit out of me.
Flood.
Yeah, the levels.
Have you got the dash nozzle yet?
Oh no, I haven't played enough. I can't get into it. I played a few levels and they just didn't feel as well put together as, say, Galaxy or 64, or Odyssey, which was fantastic. So 3D World's an entirely new 3D Mario game to me in the way Sunshine was, and Sunshine disappointed, so I need one to live out.
Sunshine, yeah, I'm pretty sure Sunshine is easily the most unpolished 3D Mario game out there. It doesn't feel like a Nintendo game in some ways, and the pacing was just so strange. Voice acting, they should never do that again.
No, God, no. Peach.
Mama Peach.
It's Sunshine to me. It feels sort of like what you'd expect if another developer, an indie developer or something, was trying to make a Mario, and they made all the similar tropes in a Mario game, but it was all reskinned and didn't actually say Mario. But it's actually Nintendo that's made it.
And the funny thing is, like, people swear by Sunshine. People love Sunshine. There's a massive
It
fan
has
base
a
for
cult following, yeah. Because I looked it up and I read...
I mean, if Sunshine didn't happen, Galaxy wouldn't be the way it was.
No, but at the same time, you can make a gigantic failure to get something good like the Wii U with the Switch.
Because, yeah, it was like Sunshine set the groundwork for Galaxy.
Yeah, I did
read the floodless stages.
I read that Sunshine's reception at the time wasn't great. I don't know. I would have been way too young, or I don't know when it came out, if it was before I was born. I don't think it was before I was born.
I think it was 2004.
2002, I think, actually.
Yeah, actually, yeah, 2.
The year after the GameCube launched.
Yeah, I would have been about 2 then. No, I read that people still, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
That's definitely the case.
I'm sad that I fell into the hate side, because I did want to enjoy it. I kept pushing forward thinking, okay, well maybe the next level will hook me, but I didn't get that. It's a 3D world.
Oh, that's upsetting. I've finished Sunshine, but a little begrudgingly.
It's tough.
It was the last, yeah, like I played it before Odyssey, but I'd finished every other Mario game.
Right.
And yeah, it just...
I think if I hadn't played Galaxy first, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But...
Yeah, I mean, I was really hungry for that 3D sandbox style, like Super Mario 64, so I wanted to go back in and actually have a world to explore, and yet I booted it up and I was like, this is average. I'm going to play through it because it's Mario and I want to finish it. And there are great moments in the game. Yeah. There are fantastic moments. And Flood does get interesting. Like, it gets quite unique in some of its controls, but other times it's just so buggy.
I just wish you had a mute button.
Unpolished.
But I think I'll probably play it again after 3D World, because I do want to go through all the mainline Mario games anyway. But I think it's one of those things where I'm going to have to give it a while after I've played a 3D game before I go back into it. Otherwise, I'm going from something nice and polished to something completely the opposite.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
Because jumping from Galaxy, which, yeah, it's a terrible port, and I have my grievances, it's still smooth and crisp.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no voice acting.
If I... It's so bad. It's so cringy. If I had to pick a game to look forward to, it would either be new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that one. You probably guessed that from episode 1.
I still don't get it, but
or either that, if Hollow Knight Silksong comes out this year, that'd be amazing. And obviously Breath of the Wild 2, if that comes out this year.
So we're just raiding Team Cherry's headquarters, right?
Still working on that. I need to find it first.
Oh, fair.
So.
I mean, isn't it in the city?
Probably.
Yeah.
See,
sounds about right.
I'm more excited personally at the prospect of a Zelda collection than I am Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, I mean, I can speculate and I can love the idea of a Zelda collection, but for anything that's announced,
it
would be.
But I think
it'd be Breath of the Wild 2.
And you can straight up say Metroid Prime 4 is not coming out this year.
Yeah, that's not 2021. Have you played a Metroid Prime or Metroid game, James?
A little bit when I was younger. I don't remember much.
I would definitely recommend getting to that series. I reckon you'd really like Metroid. I reckon that's right up your alley.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe you should be reviewing it.
There you go.
No, I love I mean, I remember Samus more from Smash Bros. Back in the day, but I do remember playing Metroid.
That's fair. Yeah, I didn't play the Metroid Prime games or most of the Metroid games until like 2018, 2017. So I was quite late to the series, but even still, you can go back to it and they're such amazing games. They're guaranteed they're always going to be 90 or above, 9 or above.
Well, they did
Easy.
inspire Dark Souls, so there's got to be something in them.
Oh, absolutely. That and... I don't know. Like, a lot of the buzz was around Halo at the time, like in 2002, 2001 or so. But Metroid Prime was such a sleeper hit. Like, I would argue that Metroid Prime is a much more polished and much more detailed. The world is incredible, but it just doesn't have online.
See, my thing is, I think before New Horizons, I thought the main flagships of Nintendo were Zelda, Pokemon, and Mario. So maybe Metroid can climb up to that point as well, but who knows?
They've definitely tried, and if history repeats itself.
There's always...
I mean, Federation Force was a thing.
Federation Force? What's that?
Yeah. Oh.
I've started something.
Let's not go there.
Okay.
Before I move on to the next part, which is Name That Game, which everyone loves that, I actually wanted to bring up a little bit of news that just dropped.
Oh no, what's dropped?
During the podcast. It's related to an indie game, so it's nothing massive or anything like that. Have you guys ever heard of Chris Tales?
No.
Heard of that game coming out?
Don't think so.
So it's like a JRPG, but you kind of go in between past, present, and future, like whilst you're playing, and it's think the Medium in a way.
Or Chrono Trigger.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit, but I would say the Medium, like, because it's happening in real time, like let the screen split. But it looks gorgeous, and it was supposed to come out in 2020. And it got delayed, and now they've just announced, so releases in July for Nintendo Switch. It's got a month now, which is awesome, and there's now a demo readily available.
Oh, that's cool.
And I will be...
This is you've seen this before. It's even updated on the wiki.
There you go. Hot take.
Yeah.
Just got announced, so I'll be downloading that demo straight away.
Oh, yeah.
I've been really looking forward to it.
Really pretty.
Yeah, it's such a gorgeous game. Oh, I'm so excited.
Just if you search Chris Tales wrong, though, and you search it like the name Chris, and then Tales is in a story, some weird stuff comes up, so...
I'm assuming Chris Chan stuff.
Yeah. I made a mistake there.
Yeah.
Let's not go there. Just like Federation Force, let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not revisit Chris Chan.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let's go on to Name That Game, because everyone's been looking forward to that. So, if you're unfamiliar or if you haven't listened to the first episode, Name That Game is a little game show, like a little game that we like to play at the end of every episode. So basically, I have 10 hints. This game is for a game that has released on Nintendo Switch. So there's 10 hints. You get 5 guesses in total, 2 in between hint 1 and 5, 2 between hint 6 and 9, and one guess right at the end as well. There's also 2 lifelines, which broke the game last episode. There's the first lifeline, which is that you can ask me any yes or no question. And the second lifeline is the Switchaboo lifeline, which one of our team members has recorded a little voice hint, which I'll play over the microphone. So last time, the Switchaboo lifeline then led on to, like, because the hint happened, and then the yes or no question pretty much confirmed it. So I'm changing it now. So adding in another rule, you have to ask the yes or no question first. You have to use that lifeline before you use the Switchaboo lifeline.
Damn it.
And I hope that prevents how broken the game was last time.
I'll still find a way.
Let's hope.
To be fair, we did work it out. We were just like, you know what? Let's do this.
Yeah, just
you guys did you did a fantastic job. I'll give you credit to where credit's due, but as the host, I've got to find these loopholes and cover up patches where I see them. Okay, so hint number 1. This is an action RPG.
Ooh. And we get 2 guesses per hint, right?
Definitely not.
No. 2 guesses between 1 to 5,
Right.
6 till 9, and then 1 at 10.
Yes. So you get 5 guesses in total, and you can also trade in one of the lifelines,
Right.
or both the lifelines if you want, for additional guesses.
Yeah, I was about to throw 2 action RPGs out there.
So you're saying we can trade in the yes or no question and hear the other one first?
Correct, but yeah, then you wouldn't be able to ask a yes or no question.
See, I want...
with that knowledge.
Rachel said it was obvious, right?
She said she knows it.
Yeah,
But she
Rochelle
said
knows
if
it.
Rochelle, sorry. She said that if we don't get it, though... So what if it's...
We'll message her and she comes in and screens the name of the game. That's what she said.
What if it's Zelda?
What if we hear
That's
the next
pretty
hint?
obvious. Oh yeah, no, 100%. But I'm thinking Zelda right now.
Hit number 2, Nintendo Switch version has an 83 on Metacritic.
Zelda would be 90 something, wouldn't it? Alright, my idea's out the window.
Especially as the only other thing that would have a different version would be Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, with the Wii U. But would it be an 80?
It'd be way higher.
It'd be way higher. Action RPG, multi-platform.
I'll read that hint. Nintendo Switch version has an 83 on Metacritic.
Version, yeah. I don't know. Action RPG across multiple platforms at an 80. There's a dozen of them.
I will also say I didn't say multiple platforms.
He just said the Nintendo Switch version.
Does that mean it has another Nintendo version?
Go to the next hint.
Next hint, developed in Japan by a studio that was founded in 1999.
It's like every video game studio.
It's specifically 1999 though.
Yeah, that's true.
It ain't Nintendo.
No, they're from the 1800s, aren't they?
I know this.
Yeah.
89.
84?
Although, in saying that, you could break it into a specific Nintendo development team.
When was Game Freak created?
Before that, because Pokemon came out in 96.
Damn it. What's the next one?
Next hint.
Yeah.
Yes.
This game uses its own unique engine.
Oh. I have no idea.
Neither. This is the last hint before we get 2 guesses.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hint number 5. It is a sequel.
What? Right. A sequel.
Bayonetta 2.
Do you know any action RPGs? Bayonetta 2. See, I was thinking Fire Emblem. Is that action RPG?
No, that's turn-based.
Oh, yeah. Turn-based.
Strategy.
I'm going to guess...
Strategy RPG.
James,
Right.
is it okay if I guess?
Yeah, go for it. Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2.
No.
Damn it.
Damn.
Right, I have no idea. Its own engine.
Because you said my following was because you said Switch version. There's 2 versions of Bayonetta 2.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was the sequel. That's where my following was going.
I
can definitely see the logic.
What sequels are on Switch that are right? So I was going to throw Dark Souls out there. But I don't know if Dark Souls 2 is on the Switch. I don't think it is.
No, I think only the first one.
Now, to clarify, when you say sequel, do you mean like the second game, or do you mean like
Any sequel.
any sequel kind of thing?
It is. I'll clarify a bit on that. It is the second game.
Right.
Okay.
That narrows it down.
I'll touch on as well the first hint a little bit, the action RPG part. It is. Some people might argue that it's not action.
Would they argue that it's a racer? Is it Mario Kart 8? No, that's not my guess. I'm not throwing that out there.
So yeah, some people might argue that it's not action, and I was kind of tossing up between this as well. I would put it with RPG, but with a bit of a little bit of action element to it, but not too much.
Now you're putting me on the spotlight because I'm the RPG writer for the page.
Yeah, I thought you'd be flying with this. I thought you would have got it by now. I really didn't, honestly.
Give me a hack and slash on my golden.
Maybe next time.
Darksiders 2 is on the Switch. That's an RPG, and it's mostly action. He said a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a questionable action.
That's thrown me off. Now I have no idea. Most of the RPGs I play are filled with action.
No,
do you want to
shoot
out a guess, or do you want to forego that guess? Move on to the next hint.
Alright, Nathan, you can throw something out.
I am not sure. Hang on, I'm just trying to think.
Second game. When you said sequel, I had so many, and then when it's narrowed down to number 2.
Oh, I know. That's more action shooting. No, I was like, hang on, RPG makes me think of and sequel, Borderlands 2, but then I'm like, no, that's more loot shooter.
Yeah, it's loot shooter with RPG elements. Is Luigi's Mansion 3 an RPG?
You're really digging there.
What about Rayman Legends?
Ooh.
Rayman Legends, it is not Rayman Legends.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's not I guess I'm not RPG.
I want to say good guess, but that was not a good guess.
No, I was like, sequel.
Just say a random game.
Yeah, I couldn't think. I was also looking through my Switch library. And I was like, oh, this one.
Oh.
Hint number 6. It is a Nintendo Switch exclusive.
Well, what do you mean version?
Well, I thought if I put Nintendo Switch version up the top rather than saying it has an 83 on Metacritic, I thought it wouldn't give away.
You've tricked me.
The next hint. I did trick you, yes.
Yeah. Now,
so yes, it has only ever been released on Nintendo Switch.
Huh. There's not that many RPGs on this Switch.
I have an idea.
What is it?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I reckon.
Ooh, I'm torn between that and Age of Calamity.
Because that is higher on the RPG side, but it also has the action elements.
And it is obvious. How many guesses do we have?
You have 2, and
we
then
also have the
hints.
hints.
And you have the lifelines as well that you can trade in for guesses.
I'd throw that out there, you know.
Or do we use a lifeline?
Could we ask if it is with the yes and no, and then that doesn't use up a guess?
Well, that would count as a guess.
God damn it.
But it'd work out the same way, I guess, anyway. So.
Oh, right, I see.
We used it last time.
Well, what could you ask yes or no with on that, though? Something that would narrow it to Xenoblade. Does it begin with an
Does
X?
it have a... I was going to say, does it have a Mii costume in Smash Bros?
That's a good one.
Yes.
I'd throw that out there, yeah.
Yeah. That would be our yes or no. Does it have a Mii costume in Smash Bros?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Do you want to guess Xenoblade?
Yeah, we'll guess it.
Oh, yeah. Is that it?
In 6 hints, well done.
I was clueless. That was all Nathan.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yeah. Launched December 3rd, 2017. Nintendo Switch exclusive. The other hints I had, it was once the best-selling entry in the franchise, because it was, but then...
Until the remaster came out.
Exactly. And then that did it. It was announced in early 2017, so it was announced in the big Nintendo Switch event, which was really cool.
You know what we're still waiting for from that Nintendo Switch event?
Shin Megami Tensei 5. Yep. We're getting it this year, apparently. On that one. Hint number 9 was open world. And I was going to preface that like massively open world. And then hint number 10, published by Nintendo.
It's an MMO, but single player.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
how I
a single
describe Xenoblade. It's a single-player MMO.
I could see that. Especially, I would argue that's more X as well. X was very very much inspired by MMOs.
What about the me who plays MMOs single player though? How's that?
I thought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 would actually be quite difficult, so I'm gonna have to go even harder next time. All right, I can do that.
I mean, you also like I am the RPG person, so
yeah,
that is true.
You threw these at Nathan. What? That wasn't gonna go well.
What was Rochelle's hint?
Oh yeah.
Rochelle's hint was that it's not her type of game, but it's very well received.
Fair.
So if you know Rochelle, which you kind of do, like she likes casual kind of games, you would kind of figure that out. In that,
so it's not Animal Crossing.
It is not Animal Crossing.
It's not a farming sim.
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of cuts all of that out straight away. But yeah, that was named that game. You guys are 2-0, like 2 in a row straight.
Yeah.
With that one, so yeah, definitely gonna have to make it more difficult next time.
Ratchet and Clank.
But
to be fair, you almost got us last time.
That is true.
Oh yeah, we were on the ropes.
We literally only got it by a fluke chance of James going, "Hey, I pitched this."
Yeah.
Yeah, very lucky on that one, definitely. But I was quite happy with my first one, Axiom Verge.
Oh yeah, that's
such a good game as well.
I forgot what it was, if I'm honest. I was trying to think of it there.
You're the one who figured it out.
I need to play that.
It's very good. Play the Metroid games first, though.
Yeah. I need to play Xenoblade too.
You need to play a lot.
I know, there's too much.
Xenoblade is a big time investment, though.
Yeah, Xenoblade's 80 to 100 hours easy.
That's what Breath of the Wild's feeling like.
Yeah. I mean, Breath of the Wild, you can finish that game in like 30 hours if you're good enough, or you can spend 300 hours into it. Xenoblade, you can't finish that game in under 80 hours.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like, the story is 80 hours.
Right.
Like, it's a massive game.
And then when you add in all the side quests.
Yeah, side quests, collectibles, just exploring, because the worlds are ridiculously massive.
That's like huge.
Yeah, like the first one, the basis of the first one is that you are on Titans. You are exploring Titans.
Oh, right.
And you're on their bodies.
And like the first Titan alone is like at least 50 to 60 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. But the views in those games.
Yeah, that's a time.
Like the landscapes in those games are just gorgeous.
It's probably something I try after my backlog.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Breath of the Wild, though, how you got onto was it Death Mountain?
Oh yeah, no, I shithoused that.
Isn't there like a fire resistance potion?
Oh yeah, I found out.
That's how you're meant to get there.
Because I went to the shop and he sold them, and I was like, oh, these exist. Because I was just on fire the whole time, running up to the town, eating steaks. And then I ran to the clothes shop like, please sell something, and he had fire resistant clothes, and I was like, yes. And then I had no food, but I made it.
Well done.
Yeah, I don't think I'm playing the game like Nintendo wants you to.
To be fair, the way I want you to play is how you want to play it.
That's it. It's that open world.
But even then, I think I've went beyond
it.
how they want it played.
You'd find a way.
I'm doing it horribly.
I was considering you've got the flying minecarts.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that wraps up episode 2 of the Switchaboo podcast. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you James and Nathan for joining me.
Like always, we'll do.
We will ruin your game.
Yes, you will. Every time. Guaranteed.
Until you pick like a completely obscure game that we have no idea.
But definitely consider following us on from Facebook, Twitter at Switchaboo News, on Instagram. We also have a Patreon as well, where you can pledge $1 per month, and that gives you access to this podcast 2 days early. Like I mentioned before, you can also submit Patreon questions, which we will answer in the episodes. But for now, we'll leave you with that. So for episode 1, we just closed it off like normal, but I want to do something different here, and from now on, we're going to feature a little track, a bit of music from some indie developers. So for this episode, we'll close off with Windy Mountains from the game Embracelet. This is by Mattis Folkestad, who you can find on Twitter at MachineBoy. Thank you everyone for listening.